It is definitely cold, and I haven't turned the truck on in almost a week. It's gonna be loud.
Modified exhaust systems serve no purpose other than to create fear, chaos, and intimidation.
Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to the vlog. Hope you are having a fantastic week, and first off, hope everyone had a wonderful Christmas. Wanted to try my best to get one more video in here before the turn of 2021 into 2022, and I look forward to doing a lot of cool and fun stuff in 2022, but I think there's just enough time to get one more video in here on the channel for 2021 before we wrap it up. And I know it's been a while since we've all seen the TRX. No, I have not sold the truck. I still have it. I've just been so focused on C8 content right now. The reason being a little mix of the 2020 going out and the 2022 limited edition C8R coming in. I think there was a lot of content that I wanted to get out of the way with that, and a lot more content I need to make with that car. As well as it's starting to get cold really fast, and the winter's right around the corner. I want to make a lot of TRX and truck content with this truck and the F350 in the winter months, so the C8's going to kind of go away for a little while. And so I apologize to TRX Squad for putting them on the back burner a little bit, but we are right in the time of the year where the TRX is going to come out to play. And as all of you know, this truck is absolutely fantastic in every single way imaginable. But today we're going to talk about the 5 things that I hate about this truck, since I've already talked about the 5 things that I love about this truck. And no, I don't actually hate the truck itself, but I want to get out there that not every vehicle is perfect, and a lot of YouTubers jump onto this stuff early. They get the truck and they immediately know what the 5 things they're going to hate about it, or the 5 things they're going to love about it, usually are before they even get the truck. But you guys know me, I like to spend my time with the truck 8 months in. What are the things that have stuck out as negatives for this truck? Because no vehicle is perfect, and for those on the market for the TRX, it's very important to talk about both the pros and the cons of owning a TRX. And so rest assured, I've spent my time putting this list together, really kind of nitpicking what works and what doesn't work. So jumping right into it, the number one thing that I hate about the TRX is sadly the buying experience. And when you're buying a car like this, for somebody like me who used to just dream of all these cool cars and trucks, now being fortunate enough to own them, the buying experience is hands down the best part. And Ram does a below the market job in terms of making the buying experience good for the buyer, and that's putting it nicely. And one of the reasons why I've avoided making this video is because I was really frustrated through the buying process of this truck from the time I ordered it till the time I ended up not picking up the truck I ordered and buying this off the lot, getting kicked around between FCA chat and customer service and the dealer not having updates from corporate. The whole process is genuinely a mess, and it's like very nonsensical and logical the way Ram does it. And so I've ordered vehicles from Ford and Chevy and Ram, all these high attention vehicles, whether it was the Raptor in 2017, whether it was the C8 Corvette, which hands down is probably the craziest launch in my generation. Between it launching during the start of the pandemic, all the supply shortages, I know what it's like to hit delays and unexpected problems for a manufacturer, but Ram does a horrible job of communicating with their customers, which just exemplifies how bad the process is. And so this is kind of my soapbox moment where I kind of get to stand on my soapbox pedestal and kind of call out Ram for some of the deficiencies they have in their ordering process. You know it's bad when the dates and times are literally engraved in your mind, and so I placed my order August 18th, 27 minutes or so into when the ordering books opened. And this guy stood up on stage saying, we're going to get these vehicles in people's hands by the end of October. And then, you know, October rolls around, November rolls around, we're getting close to Thanksgiving, zero zip, no updates. People are starting to get concerned. Finally, like mid-December, a PowerPoint slide was sent out to dealers saying, oh, we're going to start making them in maybe December. First trucks start going out in early January. January, February, March rolls around. Finally get an email that I may get a truck in April. Mind you, over all these months, every couple weeks, I'm reaching out to Ram. Their customer service kicks you over to the phone number. The phone number kicks you over to FCA chat. Sometimes both of them kick you over to your dealer. At least 24 times I got an update on my order from Ram corporate customer service that I'm going to get my truck in Q4. That's when production's slated. I'm going to get it in Q4, except those updates were coming to me in Q1 of the next calendar year, which is how bad they are at not even updating their copy and paste messages to their customers. And the frustration just kept growing because you'd see these dealers charging $20,000 ADM, getting a truck after a truck after a truck, and Ram sitting here prioritizing dealer stock orders over sold orders. And so it's not hard. In 2022, the pandemic is a perfectly valid reason for all the production delays and problems, but it's not a good excuse for poor communication. And Ram Ram just needs to get their communication and build and tracking system aligned so there's a consistent message where they're prioritizing their customers as opposed to ADM markup dealers. And half my video is talking about number one item on my list, so I'm going to move on. You guys can tell I'm still salty about this a year later. You can imagine what this video would have been like 6-7 months ago, and I was really frustrated with Ram. I've actually had a person tell me that the Ram TRX is a better daily driver than the Lamborghini Urus, and this is somebody that has Ferraris, McLarens, and Lambos, and I believe it. This is a fantastic vehicle, and just a little bit of communication from Ram would turn what is an amazing product into an amazing experience. And so number two on my list of things that I hate about the TRX is some of the exterior styling. Yes, the hood looks fantastic. I absolutely love the aggressiveness of the hood. I love the bulging fenders, but there's so many parts on this truck that are taken straight out of the parts bin from the sister Ram Rebel. From the front bumper to the headlights are from the Limited, so it's not the Rebel, but it's not unique to the TRX. The grille is very Rebel reminiscent. The wheels are very tradesman, rebellious kind of design pattern, a little bit different, but the same finish, same basic two-tone. If you look at this picture of the Ford F-150 Tremor compared to the Ford F-150 Raptor, look how unique the brand presence of the Ford Raptor is. If this didn't say TRX on the side of this truck, most people probably wouldn't even recognize, and actually don't recognize, that this is something truly special, unique, and one of a kind in the marketplace. And they mistake it for a Rebel. And I know those are people that aren't car enthusiasts, and a true purist can tell this thing apart from a mile away. As you saw at the beginning of the video, you can hear it from a mile away. But even coming along the back, the tailgate's just very bland. It's a generic Ram tailgate. The only thing unique they do is put a TRX badge on it, but they could have done some big custom applique, made the lettering maybe Ram, or stamped them in, do something different to make it a little bit more aggressive. Just like the front bumper, the rear bumper is also pretty much identical to the Ram Rebel with slightly bigger tips, so I do give them credit that the tips are fantastic. But otherwise, non-functional vents. I think they could have molded this into the taillight a little bit better, but the taillight's the generic Ram taillight, so not a lot of uniqueness there, and they bridged the gap with some fake vents. And so overall, a fantastic truck, but I think the look doesn't set it apart the way it should for how special this truck is. Moving on to the third thing that I hate about the Ram TRX, and you have to preface everything with the TRX with how fantastic it truly is from front bumper to rear bumper. But some things they got wrong on the interior is these paddles just suck. This is the same steering wheel that's on the Ram Limited, and none of the other Ram products have paddles. So instead of making a custom steering wheel for the TRX with some really nice paddles, like the Raptor had magnesium paddles, better than the C8 paddles, better than some of the Lambo and McLarens that have satin paddle shifters, this is a very cheap plastic. It doesn't even make a good sound when you kind of fling your finger against it. But the worst part is this cutout for the volume bumper. Instead of relocating and giving everyone a solid paddle shifter, they just cut it out around it, and so when you're turning, it's very easy to kind of miss the paddle shifter, and you have to be mindful of the top or bottom and the small portions that it's available to you. Moving into the rest of the interior, we're still sticking on item number 3. A couple of other things. Fantastic gauge cluster. Again, I'm prefacing every negative with the great positives of the truck, but the odometer sometimes seems to be like moving around even when the truck is just stopped and I turn it back on. Ram says that that's normal. It's catching up on mileage that it missed, but I still think it's a little weird that it does that. I hate the fact that when you turn the truck on, it doesn't remember what mode you're in, and even the customized modes. But still sticking in with item number 3, you can see in the custom modes, you get a lot of customization options, but for some reason you can't control certain elements inside of even the custom mode that you would otherwise have control over, shifting from sport to tow to snow. So there is some customizability that they could have done a little bit different. So there are some nitpickings to be had inside of the interior of this truck that I think they should have done a little bit differently. Number 4 on my list of things that I hate about the Ram TRX is the performance of the performance pages. And I will probably speed this up because at this point this video is already getting lengthy and we'd be here for another 5 minutes just watching it load. But when you hit the performance pages, I wish they added a little bit more performance to the actual performance pages themselves. And I know that's very ironic, but quite literally I pressed it at 3:45. It's gonna be sitting here for about a minute and a half. And boom, there you have it. 3:47 is when it clicked in, so about 2 minutes. Actually, it's not bad. I think the last software update actually got a lot quicker with it, but it's still pretty slow to get to these pages. And then once you're in here, you get some really fantastic gauges. I've talked about this in some of my earlier videos, so I won't break it down too much in detail. But some fantastic gauges that just take a little bit too long for it to pull up. And the worst part about it is, let's say you want to pull up your timers, you pull up at a red light, maybe you're lining up with somebody, maybe you're even on the track and you're at the quarter-mile strip. You have to preemptively make sure you plan the 2-minute load time, because you could get to the drag strip, press the button. Now you have to sit there for 2 minutes for some of these timers to load. Otherwise, when the light turns green and these pages haven't loaded yet, you're going to miss the ability to track and time some of this information. I have heard that they fixed it in Uconnect 5, so if you're getting a 2022 or newer TRX, supposedly this is fixed, but for all of us 2021 owners, it takes a little bit of time. Should I complain about the mileage of the truck? Because it seems like every 5 things I hate about the TRX seems to complain about the mileage. Maybe that's the YouTuber thing to do, but honestly guys, I love it. If you're getting good mileage with your TRX, you're clearly doing it wrong. This truck's perfectly fantastic at 10 miles to the gallon. So no, that is not number 5 on my list. But the number 5 thing on my list of things that I hate about the TRX is the rear backup assist. And my God, is this horrible. So as you can see here, there's a little sensor over here, there's a little sensor over here, and conversely on the passenger side, you have the same sensors. The automatic rear braking that's a part of the rear sensor system is just so bad and such a waste of microchips. And what I mean by that is when you're backing up, the sensors are so sensitive, no pun intended, that they actually trigger on just about everything. There could be a leaf on the ground, there could be a puddle on the ground. I looked like a moron the other day at my buddy's shop when I was trying to back out of his parking spot, and there was a puddle behind me from fresh rain, and the truck literally between the puddle that was maybe about 10 feet behind the truck was locking up the brakes maybe 5-6 times over 10 feet. And it took no joke like a couple minutes for me to get over that puddle. And you can shut it off in the dash, and I have now after almost 8 months of ownership, because I kept thinking to myself, maybe it'll get better, but it's really one of the most frustrating things ever when you're trying to back up, especially at car shows and stuff, when you have people that are gawking over the truck and you look like a moron that's just jamming on their brakes. And these are loud brakes when this big beast comes to a stop. The sound it makes is actually very frightening inside as well. Oh yeah, this is going great, guys. Oh, yeah, no, I'm loving it. There's nothing behind me. This is wonderful. I'm having so much fun. Quite literally, parking line cracks. Or possibly the little water that's accumulated there. It's freaking out over something. So you go into settings inside of safety and driving assistance. Under the Park Sense tab, you want to go ahead and shut off rear Park Sense brake assist. They give you little eye icons that tell you brakes the vehicle in reverse if potential rear collision is detected, but now it's off and I don't have to worry about it. But there you have it. These are the 5 things that I hate about the TRX a full 8 months later. Again, these are very minor things. This truck is a hot rod, a performance car, a practical truck, a passenger and cargo hauler. Truly one of the best vehicles you can get dollar for dollar. I have not owned a vehicle that has been as fun as the Ram TRX has been to own, and I go through vehicles a lot, and when this truck has its time to go, which, you know, I don't know when that will be, but if that time comes, trust me, I will be on the hunt for another TRX. I think right now, the way the numbers work, it makes sense for me to order a 2022 and move out of this 2021 while the market is hot. But the only thing that's held me back is I'm afraid of the downtime that I have to spend between a 2022 getting built and delivered, since that Ram buying experience is almost just as bad as it was a year ago when I first got into it. And I don't want to spend any time without this truck. So yes, there are some things that I hate about it. There are some things that Ram could have done better, but overall, truly one of the best trucks in the entire marketplace that gets a thumbs up from me. And so if you're considering the TRX, or you consider buying the TRX, definitely will not have any regrets. This is a fantastic truck. And with that said, that's all I have for today's video. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a big old thumbs up. It helps other people find this video. If you want to show me some love and support, I would greatly appreciate if you took the time to subscribe to the channel. Grow the subscriber base helps me reach out to bigger vendors and get more partnerships going. And as always, to TRX Squad, to C8 Squad, to the members of Raptor Squad that have stuck around, I always love and appreciate all the support that you give me. And just like that, until the very next video, I look forward to seeing all of you in the comment section below.